Welcome to How Not to Suck at Business and Marketing. I'm your host, Dana Sanchez, and today we are going to be talking about keeping it real. Now, there is so much that I have to say about this topic, so too much to cover today, but this might actually be one of those like series regular sort of things. Because I'm so passionate about it from a personal standpoint, from a business standpoint, and no matter what you do in life, whether you own your own business, work at home as a mom, it's a lot of work. No matter what, this is really going to help you, and I feel so passionate about this. So, keeping it real. Gosh, where do I start? So, okay, well, I'll start with a story. Sure, why not? My most popular episode so far has been the online dating episode. And sometimes that's really where the funniest of my life stories come from. So the other day I was talking to this guy online, and, we were doing the usual, like, where do you live? How long have you been, what do you do? Sort of, thing. And he tells me that he's a guru of some sort, but he uses it in a way that is like, let's see, he's like a analyst or something like that with numbers, but he called himself a guru. And as soon as he called himself a guru, I was like, ugh, guru? And he actually said it like that was his title. And so I questioned him. I said, is that on your business card? Or is that like a self-proclaimed title? Nothing annoys me more than when people call themselves a guru. You know what? If someone wants to call you a guru, fine. But are you really a guru? Are you? And if we're honest, most people aren't. So that kind of stuff just reeks of insecurity. And you can't keep it real if you're insecure. Now, Dana, are you saying that everyone is you can't be insecure? No one can have any insecurities? Absolutely not. But let's just be honest about them. Let's just throw it out there. So one of the ways that you can keep it real and actually boost your confidence at the same time, because confidence just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I don't feel like anybody's just like born like super confident. I feel like we all have insecurities that we deal with on a daily basis throughout our lives, and they kind of shape and color the way that we look at things. So I'm looking over here because I do have some notes. One of the things that has really kind of struck me lately is that we all kind of get up and make a decision every single day. Every decision I believe that we make is based either out of fear or desire. Like even like going to work. Am I afraid that I'm not going to have enough money to pay my bills and that's why I go to work? Or do I have a desire to, send my kids to college, to give them a great life, things like that. So if you really let that kind of sink in, fear and desire, everything we do is based out of fear or desire. The problem is when you're insecure, you're not able to keep it real because most of everything you do is really based out of fear. And what does insecurity look like? Well, insecurity, it looks like somebody's trying too hard. Or they're self-depreciating in a way that is like overly so. It feels painful to the other people around you, probably to you, but you feel it so much that you don't probably recognize it. It's kind of those cringy, awkward things. I like to say insecurity is loud and confidence is silent. Now, I'm confident, I'm loud, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, insecurity is, people that are insecure can just like fill a room with their painful awkwardness. Okay, so keeping it real. Here is a tip that I want to give you that will help you keep it real. Be vulnerable. Be honest about your fears, and I don't mean like, it's not like in a weird, insecure way where you're oversharing and you just start like vomiting all of your anxieties and fears and stuff on perfect strangers or whatever. But I mean, like, work it into, like, just be okay with being kind of a mess. I used to be like super insecure about calling on car dealers when I sold advertising. I hated it. I was afraid of them. Honestly, I was so afraid of them. And so much so that I would feel like sick to my stomach when I had to walk into a car dealer to sell them advertising. And finally, my boss sat me down and said, Dana, he asked me, he's like, so what's the deal? Why don't you want to go into these people? Why don't you sell car dealers? And I'm like, honestly, I'm afraid of them. I just have a fear. And he sat me down. He said, Dana, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. And for some reason, even though I heard that so many times, it just hit me. You know what? We're all human. We all have the same needs, desires, wants. We all want to be loved. We all want to be liked. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be understood. And when you look at life through that we all are insecure in our own little messy way, and you know, it's kind of like the people that look like they have it most together are generally the ones that are so screwed up that they don't have it most together. So actually, the older I get, the more I realize I don't even care how much money you have. I don't care how many houses you own, cars, whatever. We're all the same. We're all the same. When you peel back all the layers, we all have the same fears. We all have the same anxieties. Some of us are just better at hiding it than other people. So just be real. Hey, girl, I know it, Erica. So, okay. So this is one of my favorite quotes about vulnerability. Again, it's not vomiting everything that all your anxieties and issues on people. But being vulnerable is about living a level of authenticity that most people probably don't expect. Yeah, that's me. So I'll give you an example. The other day I was at CrossFit. And someone was talking about buying a house, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! Yeah, they're buying this nice big house." And actually, what we were talking about is they were running a Black Friday special, and I was thinking, "Oh, should I do this?" Well, anyway, my insecurity, it's a little bit of insecurity, and I'll tell you why, but so I live in a duplex. I don't know why that's so funny, but I think it's funny because my dad calls it an apartment. And I feel like, okay, if I was living in New York City, sure, an apartment would be great. But I just feel like kind of maybe I'm at a level in my life where when my 80-year-old dad says, well, I'll come by the apartment. And I'm like, oh, Dad, it's not an apartment. Jeez. And you know what? It's an insecurity thing for me. Probably because I think that, what does success look like? When I think of duplex, I think of like, I don't know. 48 years old. Should I be renting? I don't know. Should I be living in a duplex? Maybe, maybe not. It's something that I'm a little insecure about, but I joke about it. So I was talking about, well, I don't know if I can do this Black Friday thing because it was like a buy a year, get a year free or something like that. And there's a lot of money up front. And so I said that I live in a duplex. I'm looking to purchase the whole building, like the whole duplex, the other side, and which is a good investment. But then we started talking about, I felt like I had to explain that, okay, it's a duplex, but it has a 2-car garage. It's newer. It's got big high ceilings. It's a very nice You know what? Just own it. Dude, I live in a Plex. I call it the Plex life. #Plex life. So when my friends, I have a friend that, has houses all over the world. And one time he sent me a picture of his huge house in Hawaii. And, I went outside and took a picture of my duplex, sent it back. But that's why he likes me. I think. Not because I live in a duplex, but because, I own it. Hey, yeah, I live in a duplex. Right on. You know what? My bills are a heck of a lot lower than a lot of y'all. So, anyway, being secure. That's one of the things I'm insecure about. Women, we're mostly kind of insecure about the way we look. But if the truth is, if you realize, girls, that everyone is insecure about the way they look, then you can be so confident about the way you look because they're all worried. Everybody's worried about what you think of them. Just that. So one of the ways you can not be insecure and keep it real is to be vulnerable. That means don't pretend you have it all together. Don't pretend you know everything. If you don't know something, just admit it. Just admit it. And if anyone's commenting, I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. Just admit it. We're all a mess. We're all a mess. And what happens when you do this, when you admit it, when you are vulnerable? People will instantly like you. Because why? When someone's vulnerable, when I told you guys I lived in a duplex and I'm like #BlexLife, that's actually kind of funny. But when you are vulnerable, people like you because it's all of a sudden they're like, it gives them that little aha, me too. When you own your mess, then other people that are afraid to show their mess, they're like, oh man, they relate to you because nobody's immune from being human. We all have our messes. And it gives people instant, me too. So I'm not going to go on too long about this, but I think I'm going to talk about this a little bit more as we progress in these videos, because I think it's so important. Again, whether you're a business owner, some of my favorite people are the ones that Chris Brogan, who will, and if you don't know who Chris Brogan is, Google him. He's amazing. He's the coolest guy, probably one of the coolest guys in marketing I've ever met. So humble and so freaking vulnerable. I mean, he just lays it all out there. And he's instantly likable. But what are we afraid of? We're afraid that people aren't going to like us. They're going to make fun of us. I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm going to say this over and over. Nobody cares. Everybody cares about themselves. We all care about what you think of us. So you look him up on Instagram. Some of his posts are so amazing. So, but he's just vulnerable, about some of the hard stuff. And he talks about it in a way that's like, man, it's such a relief that I'm not the only one that faces anxiety or has irrational fears. I used to leave my house and think, did I unplug everything? Did I close the garage door? And then I'd have to do this crazy turnaround where I'd have to look, we all have stuff. So anyway, again, being vulnerable is about living a level of authenticity that most people probably don't expect. And I love that. To me, it's like game on. Challenge. I love pushing the envelope just a little, just to see how far I can go. It's fun. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week. Don't suck. Be amazing. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Eat lots of stuff. Love you guys.